Hello again everybody, so today I'm back with a book review for you guys. So the book I'm going to be reviewing today is one I actually first read 6-8 weeks ago. Enjoyed it at the time, had a bit of time to think about it since, and now I'm ready to give you all my thoughts. The book I'm reviewing today is The Versions of Us by Laura Barnett. So it's a book that's had quite a lot of publicity. I think a few of you will probably recognise it, and it's one that's got quite a wide appeal to a lot of different people. But I'll get straight into it in a second and let you know what I thought about it. Quickly, just to fill you in on how I do my reviews, I'm going to go through it in a few different sections. First, I'm going to talk about the concept, and then the plot, the characters, the writing, and then give it an overall score for what I thought about the book in general. So starting off then with the concept. That's probably one of the strongest parts of this book. It's the reason I picked it up in the first place. The general storyline is actually not the kind of thing I'd normally go for. It's basically about a couple, Jim and Eva, and their relationship throughout the duration of their lives from first meeting to the very end of their lives, and it's not the kind of thing I would necessarily immediately straight away pick up. But what's really clever about this is the way it does it. It describes itself as a bit like Sliding Doors the film. So if anyone's seen that, you'll kind of get where this is going. The book follows 3 separate timelines. So from the first moment that Jim and Eva meet, there's 3 possible ways it could go. There's one where they meet, they start chatting, they go for a drink, and they start dating. There's one where they don't actually meet, they kind of cycle past each other, and that's it. And there's a third where they meet up, they get together, and then break up a few weeks later. And basically the whole plot spawns from those 3 points. It follows all 3 timelines at the same time and follows their entire lives all the way through. That is a really great concept. I love any kind of alternate history, alternate timeline stuff, and that's what drew me into this and what's drawn a lot of people in, and it's one of the strongest points of the book without a doubt. So it's a strong concept. How does the plot actually live up to it? So it has to be said that the author is very, very clever to have weaved it all together. The way it's done is it follows these 3 separate timelines, but there are like key events. So someone's birthday, or someone's funeral, or someone's wedding, where all the timelines kind of converge and all the characters are in the same place, and that's a really clever way of doing it. It like brings it back together in a way again and together in a way, and it's just very, very clever and genius way of doing it. The actual storylines themselves are very interesting. You would expect there would be one good storyline, one bad storyline, and one kind of unusual storyline, but actually you change which of the 3 storylines you're rooting for constantly as you go through the book. It's not as simple as in one they're happy, in one they're not. It's a really clever, really plays your emotions in a very clever way. It is still very much a romance / family saga, which isn't always my cup of tea, so there's a few little bits that let it down there, but overall I thought it very cleverly delivered on the concept, and that the plot itself did live up to it. So about the characters then, the 2 main characters, Eva and Jim, the way it's done is, again, very, very clever. Full credit to the author, that in each of the timelines, because of the things they've gone through in their lives are quite drastically different, it is a very different character in each timeline, but you can still recognise it as the same person. So the Eva in timeline 1 and timeline 3 are completely different people, but you can see those links and the basis of their personalities persevering throughout it, and that's really clever to have those nuances. It's very well done. The supporting cast are also quite good, though it can get quite confusing. That's a general thing of the book in overall, is that it can be quite hard to keep up with all the little differences and all those timelines. So for example, in the 3 timelines, the main characters' kids all have different names, and I so lost track of whose kids they were, which timeline they were in. But that's more on me than maybe the book, but it is a very complicated one to keep up with. It's not as light a read as you would initially expect it to be, though all the supporting characters are really well developed. In terms of the writing and the structure, as I probably mentioned, it is so cleverly done. How the author had these 3 specific timelines all mapped out so well and so consistently and managed to deliver them, I have no idea. The actual writing itself is what I would describe as unobtrusive. So it tells the story, it gives you all the emotion description you need, but it's not big, flowery descriptions. It is about the plot and the characters, and with this kind of book, that's all you need. You don't need flowery languages and metaphors. It's really well suited to the style of book it is, and again, full credit to the author for that. It does feel a bit variable in terms of how it reads in that, for example, the last 50 pages I found very enjoyable and very hooked up in, whereas bits in the middle did drag a little bit, and it's kind of partly linked to the way it's structured and the pacing of it, and also just the fact that the middle of most books have a bit of a lull period, but it was just a little bit of a letdown, but it does bring it back all up together for the last 50 or 60 pages. What did I think overall then? I have to say, I did enjoy reading it a lot. I think it's quite unique. The way it's done is very clever and offers something different to a lot of other books. It was confusing at points, and to the point it was so confusing that I had to flick back and read previous chapters to try and work out what was going on and who was who, and that's never a particularly good thing, but I think with what the author was trying to achieve, she's done a really admirable job with it and deserves a lot of credit for it. I think she's very talented, and I think this is a very strong debut novel, and I think she can have a really amazing career going forward. I hope she tries something completely different next time, just to really show off what she can do, but this is a very well formulated and crafted book, and actually, despite the fact that on the surface, the plot doesn't look like a plot I'd enjoy, and I think a lot of people would say the same, it's actually one that I did enjoy reading, I did get quite invested in, and I think pretty much anyone would enjoy reading this. It offers different things to different people, and it is very enjoyable. Overall, I gave it 8.5 out of 10. So there we have it, my review of The Versions of Us by Laura Barnett. It's a really great book, really cracking read if you're after something a bit different to read, and I'm really glad I ended up reading it. Please, if you've read it, leave a comment down below, it'd be really appreciated. It's one of those books that actually I think a lot of people will have different opinions on and different things they take away from it. Having just spoken to my friends, I've had that, and I'm intrigued to know if any of you have read it, what you guys have thought about it. Other than that, I'm going to leave a link to a playlist with my other reviews down below, and my Twitter and Goodreads, and I really hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you have, a like/subscribe would be so appreciated. And if you've got any books that you think I should read or that you want me to review, please let me know about those as well. I love recommendations from you guys. It's one of the best things about doing this, without a doubt. And other than that, I hope you've enjoyed watching it, and I will see you soon with my next video.